Yeah, another FAQ had been dropping 2 days ago, by the way, folks. So therefore, I decided to actually talk about those and give my own reflections and thoughts about what the Telegram FAQ is. Welcome, Shadowfighters, to yet another Shadowfight Tree video where I'm going to be checking out the FAQ, as there is only 2 days left since it's Halloween that I've been recording in. It's only 2 days left until the global release of the Shadowfight Arena itself. And I'm already keeping my intrigue, and I hope you guys are also keeping your intrigue. And even before we're getting the release game of getting the release time of that, we actually have some FAQ that I can go through and get some answers already answered. Well, questions already answered. That's what I was trying to ask. That's what I was trying to say. So without anything further to say, I just want to just hop straight forward to this, and afterwards builds and also quests into getting the remaining legendary cards will also be dropping by before we get to see the release date, the release time of the Shadowfight Arena, where we actually get to see the global release live. So be sure to keep the intrigue up, but don't get too hyped, because get too hyped and then something else gonna be popping by, like a small delay. You know that kind of will puff you down a little bit. So just get hyped, but not too hyped. So anyways, Telegram FAQ 29.10. This has actually been taken from Discord, by the way. I just copy pasted it into a separate note so that you guys can have a good look over here instead. So, question number 1: when is the next part of the E-Displane? The sequel to the E-Displane will be available in November. So, I basically would have some time into getting the remaining items before I want to continue E-Displane and maybe do like a separate part videos, instead of actually making what I did right now, just like finish the part 1 with just like one kind of piece of video. So instead, whenever I finish my collection, which I hope I will do real soon, guys, then I will continue E-Displane and make separate parts of it where I go through the boss and everything, so you guys would know like that. And also I should be grinding for booster packs, of course, so I can actually expand the recollection process. And just remember that E-Displane is actually easier, less merciless. It's actually being more merciful than June's Plane, because now individual items also give you more stability. Just keep that in mind, because that's a little bit extra advantage for us players to actually just relieve our little stresses if we actually have any of that regarding the transformations. But it is right there to actually keep us a little bit preoccupied, actually make us stay a little bit longer with the story, rather than the developers have been spending like several months into creating a storyline, and then we just finish it off with just several hours, or like less than an hour, just because we have more than enough power to already deal with those. You see what I mean right there. So yeah, next part of E-Displane will be available, and I'm already at the very end of the first part of E-Displane, which is Iolanda, aka the boss of this some assorted squad that us called Proximus is a part in. So we're just gonna keep our intrigue of what will be popping up in November right there. What we do know is that there's been smaller new things sliding by. For example, the Immortal Lord set that has just been popping up in the Halloween event. That was definitely something, so that the update wasn't just solely about E-Displane and the new Sanjikun style. It was also just adding a new set, which adds up a little bit extra something new feeling into us playing this game. So we move on to question number 2. Will Marcus's Plane be released on the same way a year after the release of E-Displane? No. According to our plans, it will appear early next year, tentatively in the spring. So for us who might be thinking, oh, Marcus's Plane is going to be taking as long time as E-Displane? No, because now it actually looks like the developers are focusing on events and also just building a little bit more of the story before they go to other aspects of the game to actually finish. We might say, we're pretty much sure that not everything from the roadmap 2020 is going to be covered, but I'm pretty sure that the developers are putting their heart into actually following the roadmap they might be doing. Of course, it was a subject of change, so maybe more or less have been added into that plane. We don't know exactly, guys, because there haven't been any kind of change to the roadmap. We just got like a one piece of roadmap, and it was said when you go through that link to read the format itself, to read the page itself, that this is a subject of change. But now we don't even see any kind of change, so we can assume what might be changed and what might be not, and what might be coming. So about Marcus's Plane, that was like beyond E-Displane, because E-Displane was like in 2020, in which they actually follow. We all know that. So I wasn't really surprised that people were asking whether Marcus Plane is going to be implemented in the same way. Like they want to ask if it was going to take longer time, as long time as Ethos Plane. So by that, I can definitely understand why people would ask it, and the answer is that we should be a little bit hopeful to see what Marcus Plane has to offer. If they actually got some similar leveling up system regarding the transformation and stuff like all that. All we know that it's gonna have a different symbol, different gemstone than the Ethos and Junes. That's what we all know. So we move on to question number 3. Will Ninjato appear in subsequent parts of Ethos Plane? And the answer is Ninjato will become available to players in the first half of next year. And I am not surprised by this question, because we got to see Kitsune using the Ninjato already in the trailer before the release of Ethos Plane. So about that, I'm not really surprised, and we got to see the moves, and even people were ripping off assets to already make a video about its moves right there, but it's just a placeholder, so anything could change, because now the intro of the Ninjato is basically Sai, while there's no shadow abilities for it yet. But what I could tell, what might be worth telling, is that video of the ripped assets actually had a shadow ability where it's just the same as Hack, shadow ability from the Axis. But that's not something I would put much interest into, because it was just only a placeholder, and the developers are pretty sure they want to progress more. And about the Ninjato, I wasn't really surprised that Ninjato was going to be approaching the game, because I saw in Cascader that they were having, I saw that people were actually posting a little bit of Cascader clip about a lower attack where you do a split pose and then cut, and then do a horizontal cut with both of the weapons. So we're definitely going to be seeing the dual swords variant of the heroes real soon, like soon enough for the heroes, because now we got the dual swords variant for the Legion, we got a dual swords variant for the Dynastian faction, and now we're going to see a dual swords variant for the Heralds faction, which is going to be interesting. And what I can tell you guys, it's going to be very interesting. We already seen the moves of it, so it would be fun to try those moves out ourselves and actually make some real good combos. And I would love to try the new weapons and actually see if I can do one-day mastery, or if it's actually going to be taking long for me to actually complete that. So yeah, that's that. Number 4, will there be repetitions of events like Deep Color, Wheel of History, and other recently released events? We're considering a possible restart of these events, but they will not be in the near future, as we're preparing something new for you. So there you go. Well, this is also another question I kind of anticipated myself, because people have now been experiencing the Merciless event, all of these new events that involve skins, including the Throne Race. So if they were going to return someday, well, now we got to know that they will return someday, but it's not like gonna happen very fast. I think what they mean by this is that this gonna happen over time, which I actually understand, because they want to serve us some new stuff that they might be thinking, and let us share some feedback through the media, so that they can try to get well known with us players, and see what we really want, really. So about the repetitions of the brand new events, the recently released events that we had for this year, that was already anticipated. If I want to say so myself, that was already anticipated enough to even think that this was actually going to be part of the FAQ. So well, there might be another chance, because I had a friend that actually wanted to get the Judge set, and he lost his opportunity to get it because he was busy with something else, and I wasn't even telling him to actually play the event, because I was busy doing that event myself. But now there's almost no point into doing that event unless I have yet to collect the Judge set. So maybe I want to spend some time actually collect legendary items before I move on to the next one, so that I actually am prepared for the next part of the Ethos Plane. But really, I already have very high power, so if I level up and the stats are beyond the stat that gives me the level up, you can't level up your character so that you can upgrade more, then I would know. So where were we? Okay, so number 5, will old events be reworked? We would like to change some things in the events, but so far it's possible to say unambiguously what and how could be reworked, whether it will be a general system or point changes in specific events. Interesting though, because we have all repetitive events, and those events are basically rolling over and over again. So now the only twist we really had with old events that was returning was the recent event. They just reworked the Halloween event a little bit by giving us a set bonus for the unique Legion set called the Immortal Lord, and as well as having a Blitz and a marathon. That's the main marathon that you need the Blitz for if you want to complete it relatively faster, or like to save a little bit time by just waiting days. That's the only kind of change we got so far. What else might be in there? We don't really know, but what they say right here is general system or point changes in specific events. So that's something we might be thinking about, what kind of system changes or point changes that might be in specific events, so that the game could perhaps be more fun for us, or those older events would be fun for us. Moving on to question number 6. Will you add 2-3 skins per set, or will there be only one skin per each set? The team is discussing adding other skins for a particular set, but we don't have a final decision yet. So this would be well, I lost my words a little bit right there, but I got my senses back. So they're going to be adding more skins. That's one thing for sure. I've already noticed that, because I think there was a similar question like this one before. So about that being asked again, was not surprised, given that it's an FAQ that we're talking about. So whether or not it's going to be 1, no, it's going to be 2 or 3, but we only say 1 because the developers are working on different designs. So we're just going to be waiting and find our skin that might be more fitting for the whole entire set, and actually try out even broader ways of customization, because this is how we go so far. We have skins and we have dice. So what more? Just scroll all the way up right here so we get the rest of the stuff. Number 7. Will it be possible to dye skins in the future? We are considering such a possibility. I would actually like to see that the developers give us the opportunity to dye the skins, because now the skins are just like this specific kind of color, just like the set itself before the customization update. So now they want to broaden the specter a little bit and say now we can customize the actual skin as well, which would be intriguing, so that we can actually find some other color combinations that might be fitting with the skin that we already obtained as F2P players. We have yet to see an event that was going to be subsequent that's going to be involving the Star Keeper skin, and whenever that's going to be sliding by, I'm going to be trying to get it, and then when I get it, then I'll basically have all the skins that is already be popping up as an F2P, because the beacon curating is for Beeline clients, which you have to travel to Russia if you want to get that and consider yourself collecting everything in the game. So that is that question answered. So yeah, I would find it interesting though if the developers are considering us to actually be able to change the dyes, like apply dyes to the skin. So I'm definitely positive into that idea right there by itself. Number 8, will customization be developed? Yes, we plan to develop customization in the future. There have not been any cardinal changes yet due to the fact that we are actively working on the development of replay and new events. So yeah, as I said in the earlier right there, that the developers are going to be working on new events, as well as that they're going to develop customization in the future, which is something I would like to see. Maybe we can change details of the actual set. Maybe we can use some dyes to change details, so that we actually can have a color combination of base 2 and the detailing, for example, and even emission if the set itself has emission, because you see that some sets has emission maps, which is something to try to pay a little bit of attention about. Well, about whether or not you want to change that, but really I would like to change the emission maps. And definitely for the Shadow Artisan, change it back to blue, so that we actually get the original, deadly looking, mysterious man again. That would be definitely something, and definitely worthwhile if the developers are doing such a thing. So yeah, what more could it be? Well, we just gotta wait and see, really, because that is pretty much what I think in my head, whether it comes to broadening the customization. And of course, what I also think again is adding new colors. Like, the more colors we have, then the more customization options we have, which is also a plus. Moving on to question number 9, will there be guilds with chat in Shadowfight 3? As of today, our team is focused on developing a sequel to the e-display and new events that we want to add before the end of the year. it's not yet known when guilds and chat will appear. So it will slide by, but it will not slide by within the year. So yeah, they're pretty busy into adding new events, as well as adding what does it say again? Yeah, new events, and also working on the storyline. So that's one of their main priorities pretty much. But other than that, we do get to know that they're still working on these other aspects now here in guilds, and before we're going to try seeing Ninjato. But now we really wonder what other concept that we've seen earlier from Neki, like the big axes, the two-handed axes, the two-handed knives, you know, not actually the big knives actually as they're called, and other stuff that they have yet to release, and even the Tonfa. Maybe that has been confiscated. We don't even know really about them. We're just gonna be waiting to see what's really gonna happen. So, last question: how soon would the Battle Pass appear? Will it be like Shadow Pass? We are discussing adding a Battle Pass to the game, but there's no timeline for approximate date or its implementation at the moment. So they're discussing about the Battle Pass style of the Battle Royale genre, but they want to add this kind of way so that players can actually grind their way into game money. And actually, why did I say getting money? I meant stuff. But actually, what I've been seeing from Shadow Fight Arena, it really looks like they're going to be doing the hard business method. That the free-to-play players are going to get rewards, and it's going to be fewer than those who have Premium Pass. And the Premium Pass was initially fought by the developers, by the looks of it, to actually be paid with real money, because I didn't see extra currency that players could have an option to grind for, and then unlock the Battle Pass that way. So it's going to be that kind of financial method for Neki, given that they're going to give some extra rewards, extra cosmetics to have fun with, as we have right there. So yeah, I think other than that, that was pretty much everything we got to say right here of the Q&A. Scroll all the way up. 10 questions was released in the 29th of October, but I just wanted to cover this right up before we actually continue into some fun builds, guys. I know you guys might be craving for some builds, and also Ways of the Legion series that we're still going to be going. They will show up. Okay, they will show up, and I still have cards left in my collection, in the Shadow Fight 3 collection, before I can say myself finished with the Shadow Fight 3 collection, because that's what I really want too. I want to finish the collection, finish the Guardian Dragon set, because the brand new set that developers have been added in the Hidden Treasure event was already obtained from the marathon. So now I still have 2 cards remaining, just so you guys know about that. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be doing something that will finish it once and for all, and actually get myself finished with this collection right here. So yeah, that was Telegram FAQ 29th of October. Again, if you guys did enjoy my initial response, my thoughts about this FAQ right here, be sure to hit the like button. And if you guys have anything you want to say about this, your thoughts and response, be sure to leave your opinion down below. I would love to try to see what you guys are thinking about these questions and answers that the developers have been providing right here. So yeah, and if you're new and enjoying my overall content, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll become a part of the Boss Mountain community, where we play fun games like this one, and also check out some news, because news are snooping around and keeping the hype and intrigue up, as we all know. So until then, guys, let's see if I finish my collection real soon in another one.